Hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I clean the carburetors for the Kawasaki Concours ZG1000. Remove the carburetors off the bike. I take everything apart, and to make sure everything goes back to where it came from. So this is number 4 carburetor. I have it labeled. Everything that belongs to this carburetor is right here in this section. Number 3, number 2, and number 1. So all this is number 1 stuff, number 2 stuff. So as you can probably tell, 1, 2, and 4 are completely done. What I'm going to do today is show you how I clean my carburetors. To start with, I use something like this right here. This is a heavy duty purple degreaser. Any type of degreaser, no matter what brand name, will work just fine. I'll take a 1/4 cup of the degreaser, I'll put it in a container, whatever you're using for a container. This just happens to be an old coffee container. I'll put all the carburetor stuff in there, then I'll fill it with very hot water. I'll tend to leave the carburetor in its parts soaking for about 24 hours. I'm removing the parts from the degreaser solution and just cleaning it. I'll use a toothbrush. I'll use some type of a pick tool. I'll use a scrub brush, plastic, and then I'll use a steel scrub brush. I'll use the toothbrush first. If it doesn't seem like it wants to work its way off, which by now it should come off really easy, then I'll move over to some of these other brushes, but everything looks good. Now, I didn't remove this piece, which I should have removed. What I'm going to do before I remove this, I'm going to turn it in so I know how many turns it's set to. So when I put this back in, I'll know how many turns I have to back out. 1/2, 1, 1/2, 2. So it's set to 2 turns. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove this. The mixture screw. And there it is. Okay. So I don't forget, I write it down, 2 full turns. So these are how many turns each carburetor had on those mixture screws. So 2 full, 2 full, they're all set at 2 full turns. So when I put them back in, I'll bottom it out, 2 turns out, and they'll be right back to where they were originally. Now, the stuff that I'm going to put in my next solution is going to go on this cover right here. Everything else that's not going to go in the next solution is going to go in here so I can rinse it off at the faucet. And by now, all this stuff should be somewhat clean, and if it's not, if this dirt's still sticking to it, it'll come right off. Let me go get rid of some of this water. All right. So basically what's going to happen is anything that's plastic or rubber is not going to go in the next solution. So this is as far as it's going to go. Stuff like this here, it's good. Doesn't need to go in the next solution. Screws, bolts, all kinds of stuff. Those are all good. This is not going to go in the next solution because this plastic section here, we don't want to, you know, damage that. Yeah, these are good. Okay, this one's going to need, wow, that's pretty dirty. Yeah, that'll go in the next thing. These are good. Bolts are good. This is the piece that goes underneath. Bolts. Yeah, they look nice. Pretty nice. Let's give this one a little cleaning right there. Some more bolts. That's good. This is the old fuel stopper there. Those are going to be replaced anyways. That looks good. Some of the stuff will come out with just a degreaser looking good, you know? You don't have to really do any scrubbing on it. But some bolts, a couple of them, they like to hold on to dirt for some reason. Okay, we got these are the brass jets. We're going to go ahead and put them inside the this one I did not take apart. I must have forgot to take that piece out, so we're going to do it now. Okay. Alright, this one don't want to come out. There we go. I should have taken this out before I placed it in there, but it's going to be alright. It's going to go into a second chemical bath. And then it'll be like really cleaned out. What happens is these usually clog up, these little orifices or holes. And there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's 10 of them on this. So that's what usually happens. They get all gummed up or varnished up and fuel don't pass through it. Okay, there is nothing else in my little thingy here, whatever you want to call this. So I'll put everything back in there. I'm going to take this to the sink. I'm going to rinse it all out, and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back. That was pretty quick. Thanks to video, that is. So, everything's rinsed. I rinsed all the stuff out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my air hose with very small amount of air pressure. You don't need a whole lot of air pressure. Wear some eye protection because you don't want any of this stuff getting in your eyes. I'm just going to dry this up real quick. And now I put it in my tray for number 3. One of the main reasons I had to rebuild the carburetors is these O-rings, they were worn out and they were leaking fuel. All right, so that's it. Everything's out of there. Now is this jug. I already have stuff in it. So what that is straight lacquer thinner inside this plastic jug here. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the carburetor, I'm gonna stick it in that lacquer thinner. And the other pieces, I'm gonna put them inside the fuel bowl. We'll take the bowl with all the parts in it. I'm gonna put that in there. And I'm just gonna let it soak. So we'll let that sit for about an hour or two. Through the magic of video, this has been sitting in the lacquer thinner for 2 hours, more or less. Gonna go ahead and clean up one at a time. If you think the lacquer thinner didn't do a good job, I do have carburetor cleaner. I'm using any old carburetor cleaner will work. I'll do a light spray on that. And I'll take my wire brush and we'll just hit this up. I find that lacquer thinner and carb cleaner are about the same as far as cleaning stuff up. Sometimes I think lacquer thinner is better at cleaning stuff. Also, when you're using lacquer thinner, make sure you do it in a well ventilated area. And again, wear eye protection and glove protection. Don't stick your hands inside the lacquer thinner because it will make your skin very, very cold. Yeah, I don't know if this is carbon buildup or it's just the way the metal is looking. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it wants to come off. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna dip that one more time. Now we're gonna take my air pressure, very light air pressure, and I'm just gonna blow this off. Lacquer thinner on its own will evaporate. This will just help it evaporate a little quicker. And then I'll put that in with the other stuff. Okay, this one here. Get that tip nice and clean. I'll dip that in there. And once you think that's good, go ahead and dry it up. For these brass pieces with the small holes, I have what's called a pipe cleaner for cleaning welding tips, and I'll use that. What's nice about this is I have all different sizes in here, and I'll use that to clean out the holes. I'll make sure the holes are open. I'll only use the wire brush if I absolutely need to use it. I don't want to scratch the brass. These are very small pieces, so be careful because it's easy to lose this stuff. Again, I don't know if I can show this, but there's very small holes in these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the wire, if I can get it in there, run it through the holes. So make sure they're all unclogged. There's a little hole in there. Make sure that is good. This one's a little dirty. Again, same thing. Would run wires through everything. Make sure it's nice and open up. Now I've been finding that these have been clogged. These are very small. I don't think you're going to be able to see that hole. But anyway, I'm going to run it through. Run this wire cleaner right through. Nice. And now there's these here on the sides. Alright, it's nice and clean, this one. If you want, you can take some carburetor cleaner, shoot it in there. Now this bowl, or the bottom half of the fuel bowl, where I've been having issues, is right in here where the drain is. There's a bolt that goes in here, and you open it and you can drain the bowl. Well, that has been clogged up. I don't know if you can see the rust in there, but I'll show you. This one is actually flowing pretty good, but I think I can get it to flow better. So what I've been using is Q-tips to get in here. These are detailing Q-tips for vehicles. Then I'll take the wooden stick and stick it in and go right through that hole. And that right there is not actually bad on this one. A little bit of rust there. Okay, it seems I got it out. And now I go into this bottom hole here and just work it. I think that, oh yeah, much better. We're gonna flow on that now. Good. So there's some crud in here. I'm just gonna get that all out of there. And there's pieces of glue left over where the gasket goes. What happens is the old timers would glue these in place like a contact cement or something. Spray it on the gasket itself, put it on the bowl, and it holds it in place. So you got to make sure you just get all that out of there. I'm just using a small screwdriver just to scrape that lightly. And then I'll take the wire brush and just go over it, and that should get rid of all that glue that's in there still. If I let it soak overnight, it would have been a little bit easier for that to come off, but it's not very difficult to get that adhesive out of there. With the lacquer thinner, it just eats it right up. Okay, so that looks good. Now what I'm going to do, I'll take this and blow it. Nice. Okay. Now we do the carburetor. Oh yeah. Look at that, it's so nice. Look how clean that looks, huh? If there's anything, any dirt, now's the time to get it off. It should just come right off. And I'll show you a little trick here in a second. The areas you can't get to, because you know these carburetors, there's some areas you can't get to even with a toothbrush. I'm going to use the carburetor cleaner with the straw. Come on, baby, get on there. Why are these things so hard to get on them? Okay, so I'm just going to take it, go over this. I'm going to hit all the jets, all the openings, anything that I think should be. Okay, once the body and the outside's done, now I hit all the jets, all the openings, just to make sure everything is flowing like it's supposed to. Nice. Oh, where's the other piece I'm looking for? Oh, this one doesn't have it. Now, take my detailing Q-tip. I'll go into these areas. Let's see if there's any dirt. Nope, nice and clean. Yeah, these things are really, really good. Sorry, I got a tendency to hum when I'm working. So I'm gonna do one more dunk, and now we just dry it up. Technically, my carbs are done. They're clean. Okay, everything's been clean. Everything's ready to go. I did order something called new aluminum. It's a chemical. You can spray on aluminum, and it cleans up the aluminum, makes it look really nice. We're gonna try that on the carbs before I put them all back together. Here's what's really bothering me. I'm not sure if I can get this back together. I do have a manual, so I'm gonna print up the pages as far as the carbs go, and hopefully I get this back together correctly. I'm sure it'll work fine, hopefully, and the bike will run again. That's all I got for today. Comments, questions, put them down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. You all, God bless you and your family. Please stay safe out there on the road.